No, I have you just short of the Super Bowl again. You're probably like, we're tired of this, right? We want to win a Super Bowl. Hopefully, I am rooting for you guys. I really am. Maybe one of these years, right? Soon, soon. Maybe this is the year. Let's talk Buffalo Bills, number 3, and start off with the offensive line, which is a very good unit. All these guys from left to right. There's not many complaints. They don't really have a weak link, and that's been the name of the game for the Buffalo Bills. And the thing that they've improved on so much through the years is in the offensive line. Brandon Beane has done a very good job of protecting Josh Allen. Deion Dawkins is a stud over at left tackle. And then you got Spencer Brown at right tackle. 2 really good tackles. My ranking of it just shy of top 10 at number 11. You can make the arguments very easily. It's right there. You got Tylen Grable, who is their backup as of this moment. And I can't wait to see him in a preseason game very soon. He was just a little banged up, concussion protocol. And this will be pre-recorded too, probably before they play in their next preseason game. Ryan Van Denmark and Chase Lunt are going to be competing it out, I would imagine, for that other spot. And there's a real scenario that both of those guys end up making it because Lunt could also play guard for them too. So keep an eye out on that. On the interior, guard, I rank him at 20th. Once again, it's not a super high ranking. It just comes down to they have like a superstar in this room. No, but they're really rock solid. They're steady. Osiris Torrance is really good. He's a mugger in the run game. You got David Edwards, who's also a mugger in the run game. Both of those guards are very good NFL starters. Are they elite? Not yet. I wouldn't call Osiris Torrance elite yet, but he's definitely could be on his way there, has all the talent. Edwards has been steady Eddie. And then Alec Anderson's been their 6th offensive lineman, that versatile piece there, and really worked out as a nice swing man. You got Kendrick Green, who figures on to be their swing guard early in the season because Anderson's dealing with a little bit of injuries. Same thing with Cedric Van Pran. So I would imagine that Green could end up making the roster mainly because of those injuries for this football team. And then maybe Dan Feeney even could stink in possibly. So keep an eye on some of those things. I expect them to keep around 9 offensive linemen, and they could keep 5 tackles, and then that would only mean 1 to 2 interior players, or 1 guard and 1 center backup for them. On to the wide receivers now, and you got Joshua Palmer, who they signed in free agency. I do think that was a kind of a sneaky sign. I think he'll have a very good year. And then you got Keon Coleman going to year number 2. He's got to step up. I want to see more from Keon Coleman this season. Khalil Shakir has really been their number 1 option. Then you're going to have steep competition. To me, it's Tyrell Shavers and Curtis Samuel, who will be the next off the bench. Shavers has been really good, and Samuel, a lot of talent. He's just been banged up early. That's the big knock against Curtis Samuel. Super talented, just injured all the time. Shavers, though, definitely got to keep an eye on this season as a little, sneaky play that's developed nicely. Besides that, if they're going to keep 6 wide receivers, my guess would be between Elijah Moore, Laviska Shenault, and Caden Prather. Prather is dealing with his own injury right now. And Moore, Shenault are going to give them special teams ability, return ability. Maybe Shenault has the advantage on that. So it's just going to come down to how do they feel about the special teams ability of those guys and who ends up making the roster. And then maybe another dude to watch out for is Stephen Gusnell, maybe a sneaky player that could sneak into it. I think he's more of a practice squad candidate, but keep an eye on him. I definitely think he's got some talent there. On to the tight end room at number 14. You got Dalton Kincaid, you got Dawson Knox. These 2 tight ends, 1-2 punch, and then they add in Jackson Hawes there from Georgia Tech as a blocking number 3 guy who I think will beat out Zach Davidson if they just keep 3. I mean, if they keep 4, which is possible, then Davidson would be the 4th guy to me, and then Latu would be your practice squad candidate there. So for tight end at 14, I think Kincaid's got to take that next step, right? We're waiting to see him get into that more of that superstar elite tier. Right now, he's good. However, being a first-round pick, you want to see more, right? Like, that's the thing. I want to see some more consistency overall in his game, not just as a blocker, but as a receiving 2 option. On to the running back position. I have him ranking at number 11. James Cook, the deal, it's done. He got that $12 million a year contract, $30 million guaranteed over 4 seasons. Congratulations, James. Now, let's see you take that receiving game to the next level this year. Got to improve your blocking. That's the big thing to keep him as a 3-down workhorse. Ty Johnson figures to be that number 2 guy this season with Ray Day. And those 3 guys, to me, are the roster with Reggie Gilman, who ends up being their fullback, who's a solid fullback and also special teamer. So those are the 4 guys that I would keep in this running back room. It looks pretty cut and dry. I mean, you got Evans and Gore, practice squad candidates in my eyes. Johnson, though, is a really good running back, and they're going to utilize him. Joe Brady in this run game, right? Like, that revolves around these guys. And I think Johnson and Cook and Davis, a great 3 combination. On to the quarterback position. Josh Allen, right? Number 2. And he is going to, is he married yet? I don't know. Haley Steinfeld, I know they're engaged. They might be married officially now. Mitchell Trubisky, I don't keep up with the gossip the whole time. I did see the movie, that one vampire movie with Steinfeld. I don't know if Josh Allen was too happy about that. But anyway, yeah, Michael B. Jordan, he's probably going to go after him. Maybe we'll see Creed 4 with Josh Allen. That'd be hilarious. But anyway, Mitchell Trubisky, Mike White are going to be battling for that backup role here. Overall, the quarterback position, it's Josh Allen. On to the defense here in this defensive line. I rank the edge room at number 13 and the interior at 18. Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau, 1-2 punch right there. Still think there's plenty left in the tank of Joey Bosa. He's gonna be fired up. I'll tell you that right now. You got Michael Hoyt when he gets back from his 6-game suspension, I believe it is. He is going to be charged up too. That guy's a baller, man. He was one of the more underrated players on the Rams, and he's kind of a dude forgotten in the NFL in general. Dude's got insane high motor, can play up and down the defensive line, and yeah, he gets after it. So I like Hoyt in the run and the pass game. He figures to be their main third guy with AJ Epineza. And then you're going to have your youth, right? Landon Jackson's probably going to take a season to really develop, is my guess. And Javon Solomon, to me, is going to be more of their pass rushing specialist. I would keep 6. I really would. I think it's just between those guys, there's nobody I would want to let go of at this point. Unless you have an injury, then you could obviously IR somebody. Now, Hoyt being suspended for the first 6 games, that allowed them to just keep 5 on the roster and help them out in other cases where maybe defensive tackle, they say, let's go and keep 6 defensive tackles because that would make a lot of sense too. With that being said, Larry Ogunjobi is also going to be suspended, so they'll only have 5 on the active roster early in the season. Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, good 1-2 right there. And TJ Sanders is going to be the nice developmental understudy for Daquan Jones. He looked good in his preseason debut, so I'm excited to see Sanders. So did Walker. Walker made some plays too. I think Sanders and Walker are very good draft picks for them and be nice developmental pieces. I want to see more from Dwayne Carter. I really just haven't seen it. I guess you could keep an eye on Zan Leglue. I think he's going to be more of a practice squad guy because he can definitely be another no space eater type on their defensive line. Overall, the interior looks pretty rock solid, even though it's only 18. I think it's pretty good. It just comes down to some of the youth they have in developing those guys. On to the linebacking core, which I rank at 14th. Matt Milano's back. He's not rehabbing anything, which is huge. Man, the ranking will go up quick. A 72. The actual talent that he is, I would put him more in like the 80s or even close to the 90s. He's that talented. It's just the injuries have really caught up, and it's a big factor, of course. So you got to be available. Availability is your best ability, right? Terrell Bernard's a really good football player. You got Shaq Thompson, who's going to be competing. All right, I don't think he's a lock. He's going to be the veteran in the room, and I would personally keep him. He's dealing with his own injury right now. Dorian Williams figures to be their main rotational guy, too, as a third dude. And then I think you have competition between Joe Andreessen and Edifon Olafosio. I'd give the edge probably Andreessen, a little more special teams upside right there. So we'll see what they decide to do in that battle. But I do think Joe might have a little bit of the upper hand. And hey, one of those guys could be out Shaq Thompson, too, if they wanted to go with more of the youth route. On to the cornerback room. I rank it at 11th. You got 2 superstars here with Taron Johnson and Christian Benford. Number 3 wise, I think Trey Day is back. I think he's going to be ready to go back in Buffalo and energized. And with him coming in, to me, he's going to be the third corner right away. And down the line, Max, when he gets healthy, Harrison will be the future here. So for right now, White, Benford, and Johnson figure to be a good 1-2-3 punch. And then depth-wise, they have some decent depth. Dane Jackson's going to be competing in here with guys like Cam Lewis, Dorian Strong, Jamarcus Ingram. Ingram's a good special teamer. Corey Couch, keep an eye on him. Maybe he's probably going to be more of a practice squad candidate in my eyes. Anyway, like Cam Lewis gives you versatility. So if I had to give a prediction, I think Lewis will probably make the roster for that versatility, be able to play in the slot and play at safety. Especially with their safety position right now being a little bit of a question mark. Maybe they want to go and keep Cam Lewis for that continuity, knows the scheme and everything like that. Strong, I do think ends up being a lock on the roster. So White, Strong, Harrison, Johnson, Benford are locks. I think they keep 6 here. So it's going to come down to Jackson, Lewis, and maybe Ingram or Couch, or maybe, I don't know if Herndon's going to make it. Just probably a veteran to come in here to compete in that slot. Ultimately, though, that's kind of where I'm at with this cornerback room. It's a good cornerback room. The big question, of course, is can this team in crunch time, in big games, can they get the job done? Can they lock down teams? That seems to be their biggest Achilles heel in the fourth quarter versus the Ravens or the Chiefs. They seem to, or the Chiefs, right? It's Chiefs, really, right, of course. But they really seem to just give up yards like it's nothing. So they've got to lock down in that fourth quarter. On to the safety room, which I rank at 30th. this is the biggest question mark on the overall defense and the secondary in general, but the safety position specifically is really a concern for me. Cole Bishop, going to see what he has. I mean, there's a lot of talent. He's been a little banged up right now. He has like a quadriceps, I believe, injury. You got Taylor Rapp, who's solid. I mean, he's not an elite safety or anything like that. He can get the job done. I think he's got his limitations in coverage. And they really, in general, do not have that free safety, that guy they can play in the back. I think Derek Forrest might be their best option in regard when it comes to that regard. Overall, you got John Hancock, who's a hybrid slot safety type of player. And you got DeMar Hamlin, who can play be a good rotation. Obviously, the great story with DeMar Hamlin, the comeback story. He's going to be competing for a roster spot. Okay, I don't think there's a lock that DeMar Hamlin makes it, but he does give you some special teams ability. As I mentioned with Lewis, Owens is a guy I think will be a practice squad candidate for them, a good practice squad candidate at the safety position. I'm guessing they keep 4, and if you want to count Cam Lewis, then it'd be maybe 5. This group, though, will be key for holding up the defense a little bit. On to the coaching staff here, ranking at 13th. I know Sean McDermott, there's a lot of talk out there. Should they let him go? Should they not? I am on the camp of keeping Sean McDermott. I do think McDermott is a good coach and somebody that if you were to let him go, it's like the grass isn't always green on the other side. I think that losing him would be a bit of a tricky situation. Overall, he's a good coach. Can he win in the big crunch time situations? As of right now, no, it hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping the breakthrough comes here soon. It is something they have to continue to monitor. I've seen this before, time and time again. You look at the Andy Reids, you go through history, and then, you letting go of these coaches that are good. Maybe they can't break through, but then they go to another team and then they end up dominating. So it's like, I don't know how you look at that. I do think Sean McDermott is a good coach. You got Joe Brady as the OC, Bobby Babich as the defensive coordinator. It's a good group. It's definitely an above average group. And I think this is a very even low ranking possibly for McDermott. I really like him. So that's my opinion on it. There'll be some, hate, I get it. But for me personally, I do think McDermott is a good coach. I would certainly be happy if he was a head coach for my favorite team. I'm a Jets fan. So yeah, I would be certainly happy if McDermott was the head coach for the New York Jets. I think he's a very talented coach. So here is my roster record prediction to finish it all up. 15-2 for the Buffalo Bills this season, coming up just shy. So you can see that they got beat. Now that the Super Bowl matchup is set, you see that the Ravens, Buccaneers will be in the Super Bowl. Who will be number 1? Who will be number 2? I know Buccaneers, a little bit of a shock. I really like the Buccaneers. But getting back to the Bills here, 15-2. The keys for them to me, other than injuries, of course, because injuries can always derail a football team. Offensively wise, receivers, who's going to be able to step up? Shakir's obviously a good wide receiver. Can Keon Coleman take that next step? Palmer, how does he look for this first season for the Buffalo Bills? Those things. Terrell Shavers, can he, be a big-time contributor for this football team? Can Curtis Samuel stay healthy? Definitely big keys for this football team. Yeah, they'll lean around the run game. I know that. It's just definitely something I want to look at. Defensively, though, the bigger concerns come to the secondary, which has been an Achilles heel of this football team in crunch time situations. They have to be able to hold up versus the Chiefs and, other teams, right, to be able to win and close out football games. Let me know what you think, Buffalo fans. Like I said, I'm very much rooting for you. I'm a Jets fan, as I was saying. And I think you guys have been through so much pain, and I really do want you guys to win the Super Bowl. Maybe this is the year. It's a close one. It is a really close one. Hope you guys have a good day, though.